Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to another week of TCG News.
Whoa, I am here.
So weird.
We had the week off, so I was here at Colin's house tonight. He usually record this a day earlier. This is a day late.
Yep. So we're late, but Oscar's here. So if you guys like this, that sucks. I mean, I guess we could record the news earlier, and then it's once every 2 weeks news, and then we could do this.
Let us know what you think. And other than that, let's get to your notes.
Before we get started.
You like this janky mic setup, by the way?
Yeah, no, this is professional. It's a callback to one of the greatest sets ever produced by Force of Will, Return of the Dragon Emperor, as everyone knows.
Best card from it. Name it now. What is the best card? Hurry.
What cards came out? I genuinely have no memory of what
Kaguya, Tears of the Moon, the one I just destroyed you with in our Wanderer gameplay. That'll come out soon.
Yeah, spoiler. That's not going to come out for like a week at minimum.
Oh, is it? Okay. I didn't win.
What's the truth? I don't know.
Still watch that game.
Please watch it.
Anyways,
Jeb Bush.
I wanted to open with
Oh, yeah.
to TCG News.
Anyways, before we get started, as always, if you guys are looking for Force of Will singles or sealed product, including pre-ordering the new set Awakening of the Ancients, be sure to visit Happy Little Hug Factory in the link in the description below. You can pre-order that for $80.
Yep, and they also have a buy list, so you want to maybe send some singles in to help make that box a little bit cheaper, you can do that.
Yep.
And then right at the release of the new set, they'll go ahead and start shipping those boxes out. So you should get like that Monday-ish, right around release date.
Yeah, and it really just depends on when they receive it, and they ship it out same day-ish that they receive it, next day.
Get it to you as fast as they can.
Yeah, so it helps support them and support us, so click that link in the description below.
So they know we sent you.
Yep, I just said that. So, first piece of news is sort of the big one that was obviously in the title of the video, which is that we got a post from Jeff Finnegan, the former global liaison for Force of Will, and he shared this post in the Force of Will US group. And it was basically, he went over that, it was from a Facebook page called My Will Studios.
Studio, I should say. Sorry, I keep adding the S to it because it sounds right.
It basically, the long and short of it, we kind of went over it in the podcast as well, but it's he and Eiji, the also former CEO of Force of Will, are forming this new thing, My Will Studio, where they'll be doing different projects and going forward. And they basically put an emphasis on it'll be very community based, a lot of communication and ideas with the community. Kind of like, I feel like what we probably are seeing with Argent Saga currently, where they've constantly along the way been communicating with everyone what's going on with their card game and getting community input. It sounds like would be something similar here. We don't know if this is going to be different types of card games, if it's going to be like that board miniature game we once heard of and then never again.
I'll say, yeah, so we don't know what the projects are going into this, but one thing me and Colin were discussing the other day, and you made up a good point, was during the podcast where we had Jeff with us, he did make sure to mention that Eiji still owns the IP to Force of Will, so he can use those characters, it sounds like. Yeah,
if you want to make a Battle of Ataraxia board game or deck builder or something like that, I mean, obviously I don't know the legality and specifics, but the impression I got was that he could do that if he wanted to. Jeff, if you're watching, you can obviously correct us in the comments below. Yeah. So yeah, I'm super excited about that regardless of what projects they do. I know me personally, I'm a board game. I love board games, card games, deck builders, everything from, now I'm blanking on the name. I'll just say Joking Hazard because that's the only thing I could think of, like silly stuff like that, to Force of Will and everything in between. So pretty much almost any project that they would probably work on, I'd be excited for. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll have a link in the description for that Facebook page, which is going to be your best bet for information regarding it. Besides us, we'll report it weekly as information comes out from there.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, back when Jordan was still working there, they actually were working on a tabletop RPG game. Is that what you call that?
And I believe
D&D style stuff.
At some point, Jeff had mentioned that's still a passion project of Eiji. It was just sort of set to the side. So that and Architects Eiji was really interested in still doing so. We'll see what comes out of it. The second, so moving on to the next piece of news, which is promos. Are you going to tell them about the promos we got this time around?
Yeah, so we had promos revealed again, and these were the stones, right? These were the European stones, based on like landmarks. We had seen these in the past when they did the dual stones. Now these are basic stones. These are promos for March, which was interesting because the U.S. Force of Will page hasn't been posting what do you call it? Like images of all the monthly promos.
Yeah.
But we've been catching glimpses from other pages, like say Taiwan, Italy, and I thought there's another one, another language, but anyway, German.
Yeah.
And we've been seeing all these promos. So March promos exist. I believe it was Azazel and another card for March. But now the Force of Will official page is posting these saying that these are the new promos, which is interesting.
Which goes to when Rob had left, he was handling the promo distribution, and he had said that there's going to be a gap, and then eventually we'll start getting promos to our locals again. But he said that we would get, it sounded like he said we would get, back order, essentially all the promos we missed we would get. And so it does kind of concern me that we never got those posts on the official Force of Will page and no updates regarding that, and then all of a sudden they post these in which I'll get to another part of that in a second, but it does make me a little bit concerned that we probably won't get those other promos since they're posting that and they're going to be distributing that, but we haven't heard anything about those others, and then never, like you said, never posted images on the official Force of Will page. The only reason we know those exist because we following other pages and stuff. So we'll see if they actually follow through and sending those to stores. I hope they do, because there's a lot of stuff I really want from those.
I'm also curious how things are going to go, because remember when it was first advertised, it was advertised the way it shows in this post, saying, hey, it's on the actual website post, make sure you have your store use the new, or the tournament program. Just let us know how many there are playing, and if it's necessary to send you more than, I guess, the minimum threshold that they're normally sending to stores. And I remember when they first did this, they said that, and we told our store, she signed up. I think it was Rob, obviously, contacted, said, cool, that's all I needed. We actually didn't even ever have to use that tournament software. We never ended up using it. And we're just getting our monthly promos. Now this post, if you go follow it, is bringing that back up again. So I'm wondering if that would be relevant again. So I made sure to tell our LGS that when it posted to sign up for it, because you'll need to use a tournament software. So yeah, I'm trying to bring up that. I don't know if that's something we're gonna have to do just to get the promos again.
That was one thing I want to bring up is they did put the emphasis that they were going to be doing that. They're getting back and distributing, and that's why they probably posted those images, because they're doing it again. But yeah, they made sure on the official ForceOfWillTCG.com post about the promos to say yes, locals need to start using that. So for safekeeping for now, I would just use it and see what happens. If you guys end up not using it but you still sign up for promos and you get your promos, let us know so we can follow up with that as well, because I don't think we'll risk it just because we don't want to risk not getting promos now that we're growing our community. But we'll see what happens on that front.
But it's a tournament software that your store should have a password to. If they don't have the password now or lost it, or it does expire after a certain time, that post explains how they need to contact the Force of Will support email just to get a new password set up, which they usually have to send in their store information showing that they are a functioning store. I'm sorry about bumping. You probably heard that. A functioning store with like tax information or something like that.
Yeah. And I'll point out a couple things real quick on that post. Was one, it was interesting to see that both on the Facebook post, etc., that they still don't have a full English translator. They have someone probably who's a step above Google Translate, essentially, as far as they don't fully understand grammar and stuff like that. So it does kind of suck to see that again when we've had such a good run of having that. But another thing to point out, and you didn't really get this feeling if you just follow the US page and stuff like that, but going on that post, if you look at it, it has a decent amount of likes, but it has a lot of comments on it. And a lot of the comments are just like, hey, are locals actually going to get these promos, or are we going to get the old promos? People who are like, hey, they're just sending us promos that already exist in Europe, that people are concerned that that's a bad sign. Other people who didn't like that we're just getting basic stones as promos. Just a lot of sort of a negative atmosphere, it felt like. And so I feel like that's just something that's going to like some of those problems might not have been brought up before, but I think the lack of communication now with the company is just like creating this sort of negative atmosphere among some players who are following the main Force of Will page, and that sort of, if you go through those comments, you can kind of see that go through, which is unfortunately something that's just going to happen now, and none of those comments are ever going to be addressed or anything, so we'll just have to write it out and see. But it was something interesting. I thought it was the first time in I think a long time I've seen that many comments on a post and that many of them not being super positive.
Yeah.
So yeah, just something I thought I'd point out.
Along the lines of promos, there was actually a Wander League promo shown, which was Cthulhu, which was revealed in Spanish. I think the Spanish one of the Spanish pages revealed it. So that was interesting. One thing to point is whatever the Wanderer code is. I think, what's the Wanderer code? Do you remember what it was? Roller League or Wander League? I think it's WL.
Yeah.
It should be 11, but it said 12. And the last one we had was a 10, which was a Lapis card. So 11's missing, and now we're straight on 12, or 11 exists, but
Did it only get released in like a country that never advertised it or something like that?
Apparently. And it's also advertised on their page as the March Wanderer promo. So that should be going out already.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I mentioned it. I saw it on Facebook the other day. I was like, it might be worth mentioning. Also wanted to mention, because we're in a bunch of different groups, and since we're talking about the translating thing, I thought it was interesting that the Taiwan page, the Force World, actually had they've had other job postings for hiring in the past, and we don't know what that's tied to. That's whatever, but it could have more bearing, especially with this new post that came up that was looking for a card translator from Japanese to English. So that could be them trying to find somebody. I don't know.
Man, if only they had someone on staff before, that would have been really good for helping with that type of stuff. Oh, yeah. Well. So, I thought that was pretty interesting, Nate told me. But moving on to other TCG news, we had just a quick update for Caster Chronicles. If you guys are following that, just a quick summary is it had broken off from Force of Will, and so we've had this sort of long gap in between the last set and this upcoming set, and it's sort of the company going back on their own. And if you've been following it, it looks like it's doing really good as far as like building up momentum for the new release and some cool stuff they're doing. So as far as that goes, their new spoilers just started for the booster box. If you had seen spoilers before, those are for the starter deck, which comes out in 2 weeks, something like that. And then the booster box comes out about a month after that or so. I could have those dates wrong, but they're around there. And so spoilers just started for the new booster set, and they look pretty interesting so far. There's already some cool interactions and effects I saw. And they did also state, which I thought this was cool, or at least they didn't state, but they said that there's going to be reprints in there, essentially. We don't know what those are going to be of. My hope, I was telling Oscar, is that those are reprints of cards from the first set, because that's the set that was sold out instantly and you can't find anywhere, and cards from there are super expensive. And to reprint some of those staples, especially stuff like Orange Pecco and stuff like that, would be really cool and helpful.
I just thought about it right now. Another good set they can do is Magical Girl Rising. That was based on an anime, and they had it to where it was Japanese only, and it's only ever in Japanese text. And then and there was speculation that they're just trying to push off the product that they didn't sell in Japan by making it a legal set even in all speaking countries and send it to the U.S. And some people got it. I know I didn't get one. I got one online when it was still Japanese exclusive, just because I want the cards. I had seen a couple episodes of the anime, but. That could be some cards they reprint.
That would be cool, because that rubbed me the wrong way when that happened.
They did try to make up with it by doing some promos around it, like Swim. She had a promo that was in English.
Yeah, so that's a good idea of something new. So, but like I said, we haven't, unless I missed it, I don't think we've had anything spoiled that's been a reprint. I don't know if that's something they would spoil or just save that till the end or something like that. But I thought that was cool. So. It looks like this could be a really good jumping in point for a lot of people. I know I'm going to get back into it. I'll be getting the star deck, and I'll be getting a case, since booster boxes are only 20-something bucks. So case is like 130 to 150 bucks, I forget. So I'm just going to grab a case and the starter deck and do some videos for that. So I'm pretty excited about that. So we'll see how it goes. I'm curious what the print quality and stuff will be too, since it switched to their own company, if they're going to be still using the same printer as before or somewhere else and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, one other thing I'll mention is it looks like they still have Japanese exclusive promos because there was a cute little cat game that came out in Japan, and it's a card game and like a board game card game, and they made a promo around it. And it's this cute little cat playing with a butterfly. I follow a lot of the Japanese players as well as the casters page, and so I see a lot of the promotional stuff that's happening and players playing around.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, no, Japan gets a lot of good stuff, especially like their willpower rewards for casters
those were awesome,
amazing.
Those were nice.
I need to talk to some people about trying to get those at some point. Maybe I wonder if Dylan has some.
I found it interesting as a little sidetrack of it that like we had promos for Force of Will that someone would argue were maybe more lewd than were necessary, and the card game not known for that. Meanwhile, Casters, which is known for that, very tasteful, very nice looking cards.
It was very, very, very anime cards, like much more anime than even a lot of stuff Force of Will does, but way more tame. I felt like
reminded me of fall, like fall colors in it.
Yeah, they were very like seasonal, very the color sets they used and the shading and everything. It was really well done. But yeah, going on to other TCG news, Argent Saga. If you guys missed it, they announced their demo deck sales. There's a super cool video announcing it over on their channel. Which goes to the website, argentsaga.com, where if you go there, you can pre-order the starter decks. You can $20 each, or you can get all 5 for $80, and these are using like sketch art for them. So not complete art, but all the cards are completely legal and everything like that.
So when the first sets come out, you'll be able to use these cards in legal tournament play.
And I believe you'll get these actually earlier than that, so you get to start playing. Yeah, and you can also get, if you don't want to buy anything, you can get a sign up for a free half. It's a free demo deck, so it's half of the light deck, I believe. And also comes like with a quick start guide and stuff like that. So if you guys want to try and get your locals and stuff into it, get that and tell your store owner maybe to get that. Or maybe even get $80 for 5 starters isn't too bad to try and test the waters with you and your friends at your locals, try and figure it out. But it should be pretty cool, and it's all sort of a prelude leading up to their Kickstarter, which will launch eventually. It has the banner of it on the website, just not a official start date, but that should be soon. It should have other cool videos for it.
There was a little confusion as well when you're going to the website trying to figure out where to sign up for that demo deck. It's just an image of the demo deck, and when you click on that image, it'll lead you to the sign up sheet.
Yeah, I guess I had to double check. I thought the image said like click here or something like that, but maybe it didn't.
I didn't double check. I just saw a post in their Facebook group where somebody was confused of where to go.
But the other part of news for Argent Saga that I thought was cool, and as I mentioned earlier, where Argent Saga is like talking with players about different things to do. You can check out, I believe it's on the Argent Saga page of Jim, the owner of ARG, going through a bunch of different, like a lot of different foiling options that he's looking at for cards, and possibly looking at feedback and stuff like that. But it's just a cool bit of process. We're not sure what exactly their plans are as far as rarities, if they're just going to have foil rarities, if they're going to have full arts, if they're going to have texture on it or anything like that. I don't know if any of that's been announced. I'll have to ask him and see, but it was cool just seeing the different foils. There's a plain foil, obviously, and then there's circles, stars, zigzags, and everything in between.
Yeah, I was pointing out the con. That'd be cool to see those different pattern foils if you're getting a specialty product. He mentioned blister packs in Pokemon, which happen like you get like 3 packs and a special foil version of a card with like their Galaxy Burst, whatever they called it. So that'd be cool. What I was wanting to more see is just the normal foil, but with the clear ink design to where it feels textured.
Yeah.
And Force of Will does what Pokemon does, what a lot of other places do, but that would be nice.
I believe Card Fight does it.
I just never liked it when looking at Buddy Fight. No, Card Fight I think also has like the shatter look or
it does,
something
but it doesn't have
busy.
Texture as well.
Yeah, it has some texture.
Okay.
I don't follow the game.
Oh, I don't either. It does, because that's the one that has Gurren Lagann, or is that the other one?
Or
no, that's Weiss Schwartz.
Yeah.
Weiss Schwartz does texturing.
But anyways, to me, when you do the too busy of a foil, it's too distracting from the card.
Yeah, and it depends on the type of busyness and stuff like that. It could complement it in some sense. It's kind of like how Pokemon does, where it has the different attributes of the Pokemon is the foil as the symbol, and I think that's fine. And I honestly, I hadn't even noticed that when I was playing Pokemon until much later. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So in the Argent Saga conversation with, like, I know some of you may not be on side with it, but it's a free demo deck. Go sign up for it and give it a shot with some locals, or, you know, take a look at the cards and read over them, see what you think. You can also check out Ruler School, where Jeremy had put together a kind of like a live gameplay when he was in Vegas with one of the people who's helping teach the game. So you can get a better idea also of how the game plays. And things are always changing. Things are always, you know, like
they're still
evolving,
stuff,
essentially. So.
And I think Oscar will be coming out with a video for it sometime in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I was just waiting for more information to come out, especially because everything keeps changing. I don't want to make a video where it's like, here's what these zones are, and the zones change, which is one of the zones changed. I remember looking at it, and there's a shard and another shard zone. I was like, that's kind of confusing for new players or new people to the game. And they have renaming one of the zones. I forgot what it was called already, but it's the one with your special ability.
Yeah. But I think last I heard is getting pretty set. It's just a matter of they're just finishing up place testing and stuff like that with the cards. But I can double check. But hopefully we'll have a video at some point going over the game as well. And then obviously we'll be getting the decks and everything so that we can demo and show it off to you guys as well.
Yep.
But
that's all you got?
I think that's everything.
Well, guys, thank you for watching. And again, this won't be something that happens every time. And if
Unless
it did,
you guys really like it.
Yeah, if it did, it'd be filmed like on the weekends and then come out during Wednesday or Tuesday. So you might miss some things that happen.
Or we can shuffle it around where news comes out on Monday instead, and comes out every 2 weeks instead of one. Especially as you've noticed, I've done weeks without news or weeks where it's news and there's almost nothing new, because Force will. Especially with the lack of communication, there's not going to be as much to report on.
Yeah, it's tough finding podcast topics because we used to just do current events type thing, but we're probably going to lean more heavily on, say, like Ruler of the Week, or maybe here's this alternative method of gameplay and things like that for the podcast. I also didn't want this to feel too much like a podcast, more like the news, which you're probably used to it being the way Howard Colin always runs it, so hopefully this wasn't too different for you.
No, you get to see the green screen before just by itself, so that's cool, I guess.
You leaned on the table, I think I shook it, man. Did you guys hear that? I'm sorry.
Do you like ASMR?
You can dislike the video now. Bye.
There's your other ear.